and welcome back to Court Farm Country Estates. It's our final chance to get a cut of silage before winter arrives on home farm, and this gives us an opportunity to try out the reverse drive function on the tractor. Let's get farming. So I was quite surprised to find this function on this tractor last time. We kind of sort of stumbled on it while we were having a play around. We've got the reverse drive, so this should give us a little bit more maneuverability with this tractor. If we come out here, I should be able to unfold everything. So that will unfold the mowers at the rear. This should unfold the mowers at the front. I want to check that we are still doing the swath dropping. So yeah, we've still got that running. So let's turn the front on. Well, let's turn the back on. No, lift it up. Turn the front on. Oh, this has suddenly got very confusing. And our front isn't running. And we're sitting, of course, in the mud. There we are. Right, this should get it running. There we go. Now, I think, considering how the rest of this is running... Oh, wow. Have I got stuck in the mud already? Let's turn it off. Fold it up. If it will fold. Yeah, there we go. And then turn that off, fold that up. Unfold this in the mud. And it's not happy about it. There we go. Let's get it out. There we are. So now unfold again. And unfold the front. Turn that on. Now what worries me is if I do the Control V setup on here. Oh no, it does drop the front one down first. Brilliant. So yeah, much more maneuverable and a little bit odd to see the tractor going backwards like this, but we have really good visibility of all of our mowers and everything, and should be able to have a much better cut of this field. Looks like our yield isn't quite where it was with previous cuts, so we might be taking a hit on that because we haven't fully done all of the precision farming stuff yet. But in general, this seems to be off to a fairly good start this morning. Before we continue, this video is brought to you in partnership with the awesome people at Apex Gaming PCs. I've teamed up with Apex Gaming PCs to create my own custom line of PCs suitable for everybody from beginner farmers to virtual farming experts. Apex Gaming PCs are offering up to $250 off your next purchase just by using my link in the description below. So go check them out. While it is more maneuverable, the swaths in the corners aren't quite so neat. You have to take a really, really small turn. Otherwise, you get sort of these separated swaths as you come round. You can see them in the corner there. Ideally, what you really want to do is to be lifting up at the end like this, and then going and turning and coming back the other way. The mud here does make things really difficult in places, but we're out of it, I think, or we will be in a moment. We'll drop that down there and hope we get out of the mud by the time. Whoa, sometimes the steering's a little bit interesting with this mode as well. You end up steering the wrong way because you're not used to it, and and we're in reverse gears as well. So it's a little bit odd. Do it with combines as well sometimes. I just steer in the wrong direction because I think for some reason it's an opposite steering lock you need, and it's very, very odd. But this does work if you lift it in the corners and turn and then go straight. The extra maneuverability is really useful, and I'm getting used to it. It's a little bit odd to be looking like I'm driving the tractor backwards, but the maneuverability is definitely worth it, although the reverse gears is a little bit strange. Last time I cut this field, we did it up and down the slope. This time, I'm going to try and go across the slope. So we're going to come up to the end of here, finish off this headland, and then we're going to go and cut down the middle of the field, I think. Try and square things up a little bit and just go round that. So we come over here, gonna square up across here, I think, and just cut straight across. There is no best line. The bottom of the field and the top of the field sort of converge a little bit. So I am just gonna go across here at 145 degrees, I think. That will do. We'll pick a direction, we'll pick an angle like that, and away we go. And hopefully that will work out fairly well for us. I think that's actually more in line with the bottom of the field than it is with the top. I don't plan to just cut this field today. I think we want to try and do the edge of the sheep paddock as well, get that all cut. And also there's a little field that's sort of unnumbered, the other side of the sheep paddock that we initially bought on the farm here. I want to cut that as well, because doing all of that means that those will be treated as fields going forwards. We'll be able to get all of that scanned and get our environmental score up overall, and as a result that is just going to bring more money in for the farm overall. Plus, it's extra silage, so we'll be able to get a few more silage bales out today and get a little bit of extra cash in that way. It all helps to build the farm up a bit more and give us that extra little bit of money as we work towards trying to pay as much of our loan off as possible. We are currently nearly £13,000 in debt, so yeah, we need our crop sell-off that's coming in the near future, and we need the silage bales from here, which has always been a big source of income from the farm. So this is going to be important as to exactly how much we can cut, and also of course getting this cut in before winter comes along is massively important as well. Otherwise we just won't have the money coming in that we're gonna need. I think we might actually get this field finished by 10:30. I was hoping 10 o'clock, but that's not looking to be the case at the moment. It's already 10 to 10 and we've got 3 or 4 strips to go. We have a lower yield on here than we had before, which was kind of expected to happen, so I'm not too surprised by that. Let's keep this out of tree line, and yeah, then we'll be able to go on to the other 2 fields that we've got to do after this and get them cut as well. Down with the front mower, down with the rear ones, and away we go. How much extra viewing do we have? And I can't actually lean forwards, so yeah, don't know how much extra viewing we actually have here. I don't think it's that much, not as much as we would have had on a Valtra with this function. This is all about the maneuverability, I think, rather than the extra visibility. Although I can definitely see more of the rear mowers from this. The 145-degree angle we took this at actually is fairly good for the bottom of the field. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Also, it's only just gone 3 minutes past 10 and we've got this field finished. That is absolutely great news. I did not expect that we would be able to get this done that quickly. Really, really good. We are going to be able to move on and get the sheep fields done fairly quickly. I need to get through this very large patch of mud over here. I am definitely buying a pressure washer as soon as we have the funds to do so. Because this tractor and this mower is just absolutely caked right now. Doesn't help that that field there has just such the biggest patch of mud at either entrance as to just make it horrendous. Right, so there's a section in the middle of this field here that is where our sheep have been grazing, I think, which is what this bit is here. But there's a whole load around the edge that isn't. So we'll take the mower round. We'll cut that as best we can. Whoa. Oh. This turning circle on this catches me out because it's such a more maneuverable turning circle. It just causes me all sorts of issues. Now, I'm hoping the sheep are going to get out of my way so I can do this cut. Close that. We'll reverse this up. They seem to be coming closer. I think we'll go... I was going to go solely the rear mower. I think we're at the front mower. And I think that's probably the right choice. Let's unfold that. It's sitting on the rear hitch. Turn it on. Put ourselves into reverse. And then we'll go round the field a couple of times with this. Then when we get to the feeding troughs here, at this point I can unfold this. Again, hopefully avoiding the sheep. And we might be a little bit crude around the edges here. But there's not much I can do about that. Looking at this, I think it probably actually makes more sense to cut the entire sheep field. It's gonna be then defined fully as a precision farming setup for the whole way, and I think it's gonna work out much better for me in the long run. It's fiddly, and I'm not expecting to cut it that much. And we're definitely not going to roll this field. I have no need to roll this, I don't think, if we're not trying to get that many cuts out of it. We'll try and lower this down. Oh, lower it. There we go. And then through here. I think this will squeeze through here. Please let it squeeze through here. It would if I'd got myself straight onto it. Right, let's try that again. Been out slightly. Yeah, there we are. Straight through there. We'll go and do this edge. And then we'll go through and do the whole field. And I'm sure the sheep will get out of the way when I'm doing the whole field. And then we just got the little strip left to do down the far end. That's just this weird little field that you can buy on here. That is it's just a little grass area. Okay, this is interesting. Cutting the grass field is having, or cutting the main part of the sheep field is having no effect. I don't think this grass is grown enough for that. We get a little bit at the end, but otherwise, yeah, that is not working. So lift and fold, lift and fold. We don't need to cut the actual sheep grazing area at all, just the edge of the field. It doesn't actually have any effect otherwise, and it doesn't even mark it as a... Well, does it mark it as a field? Let's have a look. No, I don't think it does. I think that just... So we've got field around the edge now, but it's not marked it as a field within the grazing area. So we'll go and cut this little area that we've got down here, and then that will set everything up and we can start getting everything baled. Wow, this area is tiny. This is going to be like 2 passes, I think. Right, unfold and unfold. Yeah, for a mower this kind of size, this is just going to be ridiculously quick. Start up the mower. Start up the mower. Down it goes. Like that. And away we go with the cut. Yeah, it's going to be like 2 passes. This tiny little field at the bottom here is going to be done in about 2 passes. Okay, give myself some space. Turn my tractor and try and get this into the corner in such a way that we are able to still get the stuff out of here with the mower. That's the tricky bit. Or with the baler. So drop that down and away we go. So if I do this, yeah, we get the weird 2-pronged setup. I think I'll just have to run around with the baler and try and pick things up as best I can. Because at the moment I'm just creating difficult patches for me to get into. I think the best way actually to do this little patch and to do our sheep paddock would be just to go round with the mower on the front and the baler on the back. That would be enough to get all of this done and still be maneuverable. I think that's a much better way to go rather than getting our very large, very wide mower set up here into here. I mean, that may have been the way to go for everything on here, quite possibly. Just go round with a single quick bale up of everything and then go from there and pick up and just do everything in 2 passes. I'm happy with how this has gone today, though. We've managed to get all this cut. We're done by midday on that. We just need to get it all baled up and get it taken off the field so that if we have the time, we can roll the bits that we want to roll. But even the roller, I think, is too big for this that small sheep field one at the end. It's just going to be horrendous to try and get the massive roller that we have on this farm into that field to roll it. So we'll drop this all back in the shed. Actually, I want to get the motors themselves in first. So put this in here like this. It's been very, very weird driving the tractor like this. It's both made sense and not made sense at the same time. I'm not gonna be overly worried about switching back the other way, I don't think. But we can get this in here, get this dropped off. We definitely need a pressure washer because look at the state of my mowers. Oh no, I have folded it up. There we are, and that's off. We can switch back round. And up with the console, round we go. We're still in forward gear, so that's fine. And got very confused. And now we need to grab our baler and get this all wrapped and baled and see how many bales we get off and then collect them all up. I'm hoping this is going to be a pretty good day for that. Oh God, trying to get our bale stacker into that small field is going to be a pain as well. I'm not sure there's any good way to do that area. Avoiding as much of the mud as I can. Turn on my baler. No, I have not connected up my PTO. We can have a look at that from the other side. Yeah. We connect that up. And start her up. Down with that. And away we go. Yep. Time to get some more silage bales done. this field. All gone pretty well. I'm very happy with it. I'll unload that and that'll wrap. And then, yeah, look at that. Good number of bales off here. Not quite as many as last time. We had slightly lower yield on here. The baler's also performed pretty well. It's got a fairly wide pickup on it. So even in the corners where we had those split bits of rows, it's done pretty well and picked everything up. I have got a little bit of cleanup to do around this field, but then we'll go on to the other ones, and it's only 20 to 2. We have a little bit less light today because it is November, and of course it gets dark earlier. But in general, I think we're well on target to get all of this baled up and collected today. So now we'll go around the sheep field and we'll grab some more bales. I think this shouldn't take too long. There's not massive numbers of rows. We've got not a huge amount of grass in here. But it should give us 2-3 extra bales, which will be great. Allow us to get a little bit more money and make up for the slight deficiency we have in our other field. Even though the yield on here was utterly atrocious. And thank you, sheep. And then we'll go from there and see whether we can get everything collected up in here and make a good amount of money. Yeah, 4 o'clock. I reckon we've probably got 2 to 3 hours of daylight left. So there's quite a lot to do in quite a short amount of time. Oh man, this top corner is just a mess. There's so much to unpack up there. I'm not sure that we're going to get a very good collection of that. We're going to have to do a lot of cleanup after we got the main lot up from this, I think. We'll move on to our little field here before I go and clean up the sheep field. There's still a fair amount of grass over there, but not enough to make a bale really. Whereas in here, we definitely have several bales worth. We'll just get that first one out, and you can see the difference that this time of year makes. Such a long shadow cast by the trees here now. Round we go. Try and stay out of the hedge. Not wholly successful. This is, yeah, this is really, really fiddly. Well, I've cleared up most of the stuff around the small field. We are very close to another bale. We've got a few bits and pieces we can clear up around here. But in general, I think once this bale is done, we will probably leave it there. There should be enough, yep, off this strip to do that. And then we can leave the few piles of grass and bits around here. We'll just leave them where they are. We'll unload this bale here. And then at 20 to 3, it's time for us to go and collect everything up. So turn that off, fold it up so that we can neatly put the whole thing away. We'll go and open this gate and get out of the field. Oh yeah, I'm dreading getting the stacker into here. In fact, I think because I'm dreading it so much, we'll go and do the sheep field first. Get that all stacked up and collected, and then we can come back and do our main field, which will be a much easier way to round things out. I need to keep a decent number of bales for myself off here. So I'm actually very tempted to stack these up and put these and store them for myself. And then everything that we get from the main field, we will sell that off. That actually, I think, is a really good way to split it. We haven't got anywhere near a full 24 bales off here. So we'll see how many we've got and go from there. But I think maybe 6 or 7 bales off here, and that should be more than enough to keep the cows going for a while, at least until next year's first silage cut. Because yeah, we only have 8 cows. I might see if we can expand our herd in the new year, and I think our herd will expand in the new year anyway. I'm expecting some calves. At the moment, one, there we go. How many are we having here? Just the 2. I think we could get 8 bales off here then. There's 2 here and 2 there. I don't think there's a 9th bale on here, but 8 bales will be more than enough for our needs for feeding the cows. Yep, just the 8 bales. So we'll stack these up, and that will give us 8 full loads on our mixing wagon, which is great. That is more than enough. Right, hold that up. Get this back out this field, and then we can start going and collecting up the others once I've put these into storage. I'm actually going to put these into the silage pit. We've got a fairly big silage pit here, so these will go on there very nicely. And I'm actually, that was more painless than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting much more trouble with this very long bale trailer that we have on here. But it went round those fields without much trouble, really. Silage pit is always a good place to put the bales if you're not actually doing silage in it. Silage bales, fantastic storage point in the silage pit. And that's what it's for. Silage, that is. Let's back this up to here. Unload this. And that then is 8 bales that we can use to feed our cows. Final 2 bales, and this is gonna leave us with 3 bales sitting on this field. What I think we'll do is we'll hold those back for ourselves as well. And that way we've got one nice full load of bales down at the PGA ready to be sold, and we've got 10 bales up here that we can feed to the cows. So we'll drop off this pile of bales down here. Should go in fairly easily, and then once they're fermented, we can sell them off and make a load of cash. I think we're probably going to be doing a sell-off around January. We won't have much to do on the farm in December, so best bet, I think, is to skip December. We'll come back and do a sell-off in January. Looking at our 2 crops, our linseed, our January, our field beans aren't till July. Oh, I didn't realize they are so late. That might be a bit of a problem for us, especially going into the 2nd year. We may have to switch crops. As much as I'd love to keep doing the field beans, and as nicely as they pay, that's a very late point to sell them off, especially if we're going to be trying to get all of our money in time to pay things off at the end of next year. So yeah, I think we'll probably switch crops to one that has a good payday in about January for next year, so that we can finish off with a sell-off. Let's get this back to the farm, pick up those last 3 bales though, and it's coming up to 4 o'clock. We might have just enough time to roll that field, maybe. Grab these 3 bales, and at this time in the evening, you know what? I am not worried about rolling this field. I think it would be a bigger issue if we were doing it earlier in the year, but with winter coming, this will be absolutely fine until the spring now. And I think it will grow back fairly quickly come springtime. I just want to get these 3 bales off this field, and then I think with this winter, with winter fast approaching and rain on the way, we're probably in a very good position for this time of year. And you can see it's getting much darker. We won't have a lot of time to do that. So let's back this up, get these dropped off into here. I'll try and drop them off in front, and then we'll use the skid steer to just move this front bale back later, or the top front bale back later. Wait, and not perfectly aligned, but that'll do. And yeah, that I think is where we're gonna leave it for today. Just as the rain starts to fall, we're probably gonna script forward now until January, because there's not much to do on the farm in December. So we will see you then. For now though, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.